informed. Please proceed to the next intake chamber. A door in the sleek silver wall slid open, and Bray invited Cavalon forward with a condescending smile and a sweep of his arm. Cavalon drew back his shoulders and marched toward the door. "Hold up." Bray grabbed Cavalon by the shoulder and pulled him back. "You've got imprints." Cavalon twisted his right arm to angle his tricep at Bray, the gold and bronze squares of the imprint tattoos running from shoulder to wrist, rearranged with the flexing of muscle, glinting as they caught the light. "Just noticed that, huh?" Cavalon said. "You were too busy checking out my—" "Shut it!" Bray turned to Revis. "Revis, imprints." Yeah, I heard you." Revis detached a tablet from the top of the console and walked around the desk. He swiped the screen, and a flood of neon blue text poured into the air above it, the lines blurring together as the words sped by. He took a deep breath. "The System Collective Legion acknowledges that pre-existing imprints cannot be removed at risk of death. However, measures will be taken to counteract inappropriate use of pre-existing imprints by whatever means deemed necessary by your commanding officer or the exubitor." The holographic display above the tablet disappeared, and the outline of a small box materialized alongside a rather unfortunate mugshot of Cavalon. "Do you understand?" Revis asked. Cavalon scratched the back of his neck. Yeah? I guess. "Sign to acknowledge." Cavalon pressed his thumb to the tablet. The screen flashed and his fingerprint faded away as more blue text flooded the air above the tablet, disappearing off the top too quickly to be read. Revis cleared his throat and continued. "You will be receiving a second set of imprints per your intake aboard the SCS Argus. The System Collective Legion is not responsible for any adverse reaction you may have to an additional installation of imprints. For the soldier's comfort and safety, it is advised that the soldier not attempt to utilize the functions of pre-existing imprints, at risk of volatile interfacing, which may include injury or death." Cavalon eyed the waiver warily. That sounds bad. He'd only ever heard of half-breeds getting more than one set of imprints, and never with any kind of stable outcome. "Do you understand?" Revis prompted. "What would you do if I said no?" Cavalon asked. "Do I get to go home?" Revis's jaw flexed, and from the corner of his eye, Cavalon caught a glimpse of Bray's hand hovering over his shock baton. Cavalon sighed. It wasn't worth it, not yet at least. "Okay, fine. I understand. No unsanctioned imprint shenanigans." "Sign to acknowledge." He pressed his thumb against the screen again, and the tablet accepted it. Bray grabbed Cavalon's arm and dragged him into the next room. In stark contrast to the mood lighting in the violation chamber, this room seemed to be made of light. Walls of frosted glass showcased banks of white that bathed the entire chamber in an otherworldly glow. Cavalon shielded his eyes with his free hand as the door whizzed shut behind him. In the center of the room sat a narrow counter, glowing from within, much like the walls. A silver box was suspended from the ceiling above the counter, and a series of articulated arms hung lifelessly beneath it. An icy chill ran over Cavalon's bare skin, and he shuddered. He'd always found Viator tech wholly unnerving. There was something off-putting about utilizing technology created by a species that had all but wiped out your own, even if the war had ended centuries ago. Though clearly a second-hand appropriation of the original tech, this apparatus too closely resembled the real thing, like the one from which Cavalon had received his current imprints on his 18th birthday. The same day he'd been forced to acknowledge his role as the Mercer heir, and the same day he'd vowed to find a way to escape his fate. He supposed getting shipped off to the Sentinels qualified as success in that regard, though certainly not the outcome he'd hoped for. He glanced at Bray, who swept his hand toward the machine in invitation. Cavalon ground his teeth. His first imprint experience had been borderline blackout painful. Wringing his hands, he shuffled forward, sucking in a long breath and letting it out through his